Hi guys, it's me the Big B again with another video. This one a recap on the Xbox One and PS4 rant sort of video that I did. And I did diss the Xbox One quite a bit, as many people did, about this always on 24-hour check-in DRM bullshit that they put in place, and not being able to swap games and just a complete lockdown. Well, not to say I'm not being fair, I did say in the video that I hope it did well, and I hope they sort of like thought about this, and it seems like they have. On Engadget this morning, there was a story saying they basically took a step backwards. They recanted, they've changed the policies, and they haven't to listen, which I suppose based on what Sony did with the PlayStation 4 and completely had no DRM per se, and you could just do what you wanted. It was good old-fashioned consoling. Now, in a statement that was put on to Engadget this morning, I'll read this out for you. It says, an internet connection will not be required to play offline Xbox One games. After a one-time system setup with the new Xbox One, you can play any disc-based game without ever connecting online again, which is a plus point. This is how it should have been in the first place. There is no 24-hour connection required, and you can take your Xbox One anywhere you want and play your games just like on an Xbox 360. Well, to be honest, guys, all the millions and millions of pounds you've probably spent on these features that were bound to fail. I mean, again, it's a little bit of arrogance from Microsoft. I don't think they quite expected the outcry that happened. But, you cannot lock down people sort of like, lock down the system and, lock down gamers like that. It just, it's not going to happen. And like I said in my video, a proper gamer, all he wants is to chuck that thing on, get a game in there and play it. He doesn't want to have to be connected to the internet necessarily. He doesn't want to have all these limitations built in. And when Sony's machine came out, like was revealed, and it didn't have any of those at all, I don't think Microsoft had any choice but to backstep, because they were going to lose, and not just lose by a small margin. They were going to lose dramatically. It also says about the game trade-ins. Trade-in, lend, resell, gift and rent disc-based games just like you do today. There will be no limitations to use and sharing games. It will work just as it did on the Xbox 360. And again, that's a big step back, because they said basically you couldn't lend your games. You could lend one game to one person once, and then that was locked to them. And again, that was one of the big outcries. You buying that game, the disc-based game, fair enough, if you download it digitally, obviously you can't kind of lend it to your mate. But what they've said is that because of that, the family file sharing thing, because it doesn't check in, you won't be able to share that, say, digital download with your family, which kind of is nonsense in one sense. I know what it's kind of saying is your family kind of just log into your account, but if you got a family member who wants to play it, you just log in yourself and give them the control and say, hey, knock yourself out. I mean, it's still not to me a big problem. They're making it sound like a big problem, like you're losing features because we've had to step back and take these features out. You're losing other features. Yes and no. I really just think it's sort of like, spitting the dummy out because they've had to take a step back, and they sort of almost making it sound like our fault and slapping your hand, you're going to lose features because you made us do this. Well, I think that's just a bit of bullshit, and anything they take out, they'll probably put back eventually anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much. But I'm really pleased. I mean, I didn't want it to sound like in the other video that I was being really nasty, you know what I mean, and like, just didn't like the Xbox One. I like all the consoles. I like them all. I mean, I would love to have, one in every bleeding room of each machine, but, that's costing a bit much. But I'm pleased they've done this. I'm pleased they really start to see what the gamer wants, and hope that they understand you cannot box the gamer in like that. It's not going to happen. A true gamer, they want to take their machine elsewhere. They don't want to be connected to the bleeding internet all the time and all that crap. So it's all good news. If you want to read more on the stories, check out Engadget. They've got several stories on it, and there's quite a lot of gumph on there now about it. And hopefully now this is going to make the console war a little bit more interesting. It was getting a bit one-sided. Not that, that was a problem. I mean, I'm still probably going to go with the PlayStation because of it. Not because of it, it wasn't because of the DRM thing and all that thing. Because I liked the look of the Xbox One and the new Kinect. I just didn't like what they'd done with all this online connection crap. But the PlayStation 4 still has the, raw power under the hood. It's got 50% more power under the hood. Whether the programs use that, the programmers I should say use that and, you know, give us some exceptional games. I'm not saying the games won't be good on the Xbox, they will. But if you've got all that power under the hood, it does help, and hopefully if they can utilise that, it's going to be really good. But now the sort of gap's been opened up again. You know, it was a closed thing, one horse race. Now it's not. It's starting to look really interesting. So, you know, keep checking Engadget and keep checking things out, and it's going to get really, 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 really interesting, guys. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.